see, our little brains are developing quietly to a design that has been given. And we best do brain development when we touch normal things, shapes, building blocks, balls. As we touch shapes, our brain lays an infrastructure, that is tracks. Brain has roadways, pathways, circuits. They are called brain tracks. Now, for you to feel good about yourself, there's a brain track. The big word for that is empathic, intuitive. Then, for you to relate to your older brother, akka, iya, older sister, even to parents and friends, there's another one next to it that's called empathic relational. Empathic means you think the best for yourself and you think the best for your brother and sister and friends. That's how life is, isn't it? We are designed to think the best for ourselves and best for others. We have a good and perfect gift in us for our present life in childhood, youthful years, and then we start studying earnestly and working. We have these tracks developing, and then we get special ability to do certain kind of work and certain kind of job. That's how our brains will develop. So when you are in your mother's womb also, you must remember that what your mother does, what your father does, even your dad and mom have to remember, will have an effect on you. Even the digital stuff they watch begins to secrete certain substances, chemical molecules in them which cross over to your little brain in your mother's womb. They are called neurochemical transmitters. You don't have to remember these big words. You can remember that they are chemical molecules. They affect which part of your brain will develop and how it will. So even they must be careful about their digital life, what they watch on the screen, what time they watch on the screen. Anything you watch after 6 p.m. affects your sleep. Sleep is a wonderful gift. So after 6 p.m., don't watch the screen. You will say, my favorite program is after 6 p.m. I must tell you, what you watch before 6 p.m., let's say for half an hour, if you watch after 6 p.m., that bad effect on the brain that the digital screen creates will happen after 6 p.m. in 10 minutes. So what is this bad effects of the brain? The screen, the digital screen is made out of pixels, and they are little six-sided shapes like that. Sometimes they come up on computers. Older children would have seen that. Now they are most concentrated in smartphones. This is my smartphone, and the PPI, pixels per inch of this screen, is about 550. Our retina has certain cells, receptors that receive light called rods and cones. I'm sure you are learning about this in your biology, if not now, a little later. Our retina is only 247. So some time ago, the screen had 247 pixels per inch, then they passed the retinal, now they have much more. More pixels you have on the screen, and you're watching that screen for digital games or cartoons or any other program, more your pixels in your brain cortex will begin to race in a wrong way. Every brain cell, which is called neuron, is expected to work in one direction. Now when a lot of digital screen stimulus enters the brain through the retina, that is the eye, the pixels begin to fire in different directions. It's called multidirectional firing of neuron, which is not good. It's not only the neuron, what happens is the brain chemistry begins to change. This is how brain chemistry works. When you want to do something with concentration, the dopamine is a chemical substance that gives salience, which means focus and attention. And dopamine goes up like this and comes down. In an adult, it's a 40-minute thing. In a 3-year-old also, attention span, how long you will do one thing, should be developed to about 10 minutes. So attention span must be developed from young days by giving the same things for them to do, shapes and sizes and different exercises for these fingers. That's how you make brain brilliant. So after dopamine has worked for 40 minutes, there's another chemical. It's a neurochemical transmitter called serotonin. Some call it the happy hormone. Technically, there's a difference between hormone and neurochemical transmitters called serotonin. So when dopamine comes down, serotonin gives satiety. Well done, that's a good effort. Serotonin also gives you a self-assess. How did I do it? Next time around, I'll do this better. Did you understand that? Now, when your mommy and daddy hug you and do nice things, there's another chemical in the brain which is both a hormone and a neurochemical transmitter called oxytocin. When babies are drinking milk from the mother and when babies are to be born, oxytocin is very important. Oxytocin is also the neurochemical transmitter that gives you the feeling of love. So when you're cuddled or hugged and it is nice and loving, oxytocin is the one that gives that sensation in the brain. Now I must tell you, man is not merely material and molecules. Thought scientists tell us that behind our actual heart there is a neuronal complex of 40,000 neurons. Now if you are 8 years and older listening to this, most of this you can understand. If you don't understand, we have a DVD of this. We can give it to you. You can go home and watch it with your parents. They also will understand. You can tell your older brother and older sister, this uncle spoke a very important subject. You also can understand because this is science and science is simple. So this neuronal complex behind our heart is called the heart brain, yes. And when the baby is very small, the heart brain begins to pick up the hugs and the love and tells the big brain that it is all right. So very early you are set on the love track. Say with me, love track, which is the empathy track. If a baby is separated from the mother because mother is ill or baby is ill or something unfortunate happens, that baby does not get empathy, that baby gets dyspathy. That's a new word that has been coined. Dyspathy means the exact opposite of empathy. Empathy means you feel good about yourself, you feel good about others. Dyspathy means you feel bad about yourself and you feel bad about others. Did you understand that? So it is important for a mother in the early years of life to bond with the baby, and breastfeeding is a very good way to bond with the baby. Not only that, breastfeeding also develops babies' neuronal and brain tract connections from the lip, from the mouth, from the eye and so on. That's how babies become brilliant. And it is known if the father is very connected to the baby before the age of 6, those children develop IQ ability. The technical term is cognitive intelligence is much better when the father has been also involved with the baby closely every day. So fathers and mothers, it's a good thing to get close to your baby very early. then the big brain begins to pick up. Now I already told you there are two tracks called empathic, intuitive, how you feel about yourself, and relational, intuitive, empathic, relational, how you feel about others. So in our heart and in our brain and in our chemicals get set a default mode network of thought. Be still and know that all is well. That's what babies do. And they drop off to sleep so easily because they feel, be still and know all is well. You can practice this before going to sleep. Be still and know all is well. That's what the default mode network of thought, DMN, says. What does it say? Be still and know that all is well. We must develop that, we must work with that. Now we come to the other tracks. Next track I like to talk about is the linguistic track. Now if before the age of 2.5 years you meddle and you see the digital screen too much, either the normal television, smartphone, tablet, iPhone or iPad, if you see it too much or any other digital gadget, your speech scrambles because our speech is designed that we absorb speech naturally. Any child can absorb even 2 languages grammatically. That's the wonder of speech. And you absorb speech when your mom is feeding you and she says potato and you says potato. Not only that, you touch the potato, then you crush the potato and you try to take it with fingers and put it in the mouth. That's the best way to feed. You feed yourself. Now I must make an appeal to you and your parents, never give the digital screen when the child is feeding. Oh, you said this uncle is bonkers. No, I'm not. This is thought science. The most brain intense time is when the child is feeding at any age. That's the best time that the father and mother must sit with the child. No digital screen at meal times. You'd have heard about Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. He never allowed the digital screen or phones in his house, especially during family time and feed time, eating time. So you must ask the parents to feed you, sit with you, be with you, and don't ask for a digital screen. Now I know many of you have got used to it. Without it you throw tantrum and you shout and you behave veritably like Ben 10 or the Angry Birds when you don't have the screen. But please, this uncle is telling you the truth. By the way, I was the head of department of pharmacology in a medical faculty and I am the director of Empathic Learning Center, Colombo. So you have to listen to this and apply it to your life. Never take the digital screen when you're eating, because during eating time, your fingers are moving. You're looking at the food. Your mouth is moving. 40% of our neurons, motor neurons and sensory neurons. Sensory neurons are what? Feels. And when you eat, you're getting smell, you're touching, you see food, and you hear mom speaking. So it's a very active time. The feeding time is the most brain stimulating time, brain activating time, the brain developing time. It's with that empathy and bonding that you learn a lot. Never sacrifice your feeding time. Father, mother, sit with your child if possible for breakfast, lunch and dinner. We know for most working people, all three are not possible, breakfast and dinner. Certainly, always at dinner time, family sits together around the table, eat together. This is how brilliant children are formed. Our program is called Bright Star Thriving. We are not surviving, we are thriving. So our next, we're speaking about the linguistic track, that is about speech. You will pick up speech well when you are handling natural things, building blocks, making clay. More you use your small muscles, more this sense of proprioception, spatial sense. See this? What is spatial sense? My finger, I close my eyes, will this finger come to my nose or not? Here it came. How did that happen? These fingers know how they move. And when your fingers move and your mouth is moving and you're looking at it, doing something concentratedly with fingers moving like building blocks, making clay, plasticine or real matty molding, clay molding, earth clay. Many bookshops have it. That's what we advise in our Empathic Learning Center, and that's what we do for children in our Empathic Learning Center. And when you do this, your brain is laying down infrastructure tracks. Now remember this, parents and children, from 0 to 12 years, you must lay down tracks to learn for the next 12 years, from 13 to 24. Because if you saturate your brain in early days with e-learning, many people, there's a lot of marketing of e-learning, e-softwares, early learning and so on, but all of it only saturates a small brain. Child quickly looks brilliant, speaks brilliant, but you have saturated a small brain. Purpose of early learning from 0 to 12 is stretch the brain for greatness in the coming years, you understand? So never use e-learning. There's a lot of research on this. You can write to us, Empathic Learning Center. On Facebook, we are there, Child Star Empathic Learning Center. You can contact us on this telephone number 077 151 2801. And so many other numbers will appear at the program, how you can connect with us. On Facebook, we have a digital science face page. It will appear at the end of this program. Get connected with us, and your parents can give their telephone number. You will get regular WhatsApp messages from the Empathic Learning Center, 374 Serpentine Road, Borella. Every Friday we have a program free of cost for parents to come and introduce children to Empathic Learning Center. At Friday 6 p.m. 90 minutes free of charge. We also have an empathic motor therapy, grips and ropes. It's a well-equipped center. It's called Den and Dare. Little more about this at the end of this talk. Now we have to get on to the fourth track, is called, so you remember empathic, intuitive, empathic, relational, linguistic, language track. Fourth one is logical, mathematical, management track. Little one is crawling and learning, navigation, initiation, navigation, successful conclusion, and a reward. Whatever the little one does must be given a reward. Building blocks, play, pen, and at any stage, from age 3 you must maintain a attention span of 15 minutes. If you do the digital screen, the pixels will work on your retina, and retina begins to send impulse after impulse to your brain, and you will develop repetitive, reflexive, reactive, addictive habits like a robot. The screen is of course smart, but it's making you stupid because you are just looking at the screen, oogling at it. It's telling you what to do. You are not becoming brilliant. You are just following the screen. That's not the way for brilliance. Our brain in this part, prefrontal cortex, has executive, empathic, creative, reflective. You think and do. Did you understand that? So executive meaning even a little child plans to do with a mechanoset, with maybe a little with Lego, which has also wheels and so on. You must not get addictive to anything, chuk 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 chuk. Any exercise you do, any toy you have must work your fingers clockwise and counterclockwise. This is why mechanoset is very good. You take the screwdriver, it goes like that, and you take the spanner, it goes like that. That's what makes brain brilliant. So you must show this to dad and mom and say, please get me a mechanoset. Of course, with a mechanoset, You parents have to sit with the child. Building blocks, puzzles. You look at the puzzles and you fit the space and the color. That's how you wire brain brilliant. We do many other things at our Empathic Learning Center, playing the flute, playing a stringed instruments, even keyboards is good, playing the flute, playing the violin. We teach all this at Empathic Learning Center. You must come. What will happen when you come? Your studies will improve, concentration will improve, study time, study span, attention span will improve, attention depth will improve. You will listen to the class teacher and you will not say boring. You will understand everything. Attention span improves, attention depth improves. With the digital screen, you know what happens? Your attention span drops very quickly, you get jittery, you can't wait in one place, you get impulsive, you want to suddenly do things, you become hyperactive, you don't know your hands are getting thrown around. And you're sitting in the seat and you're squirming and doing this and that, and you feel, I can't sit in the classroom, you get pulled up. We don't want to go that way today. So you have to reduce digital screen time. You can become the best you were made for, the best you were designed for. Now see, I have spoken about 4 tracks with which we do work. We also have 3 other tracks. They are necessary. The body has these 7 tracks. Unfortunately, the digital screen overwires the next 3, the kinesthetic. We all have movement inside us, but if you look at the digital screen too much, you will go doing jing, 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 bang, bang, bang all the time. Now you understand the problem. We all need an acoustic track to hear, but if we are hearing all the time shrieks, unpredictable sound levels in the cartoons or in the digital games, and especially when you are having earphones in your ear, it's getting conducted too much. 40% of those who listen to music for more than 2 hours get tone deaf in certain frequencies because our ear is designed to receive sound through bone and through airwave conduction. When you plug earphones, all sounds go through the bone, which is not good. So the 5th track is kinesthetic, it's movement and so on. 6th track is acoustic. We need acoustic, we need to hear, but we can't be hearing shrieks and shouts and unpredictable sounds, then we become jittery. So the 3 symptoms that children get and sometimes doctors misdiagnose is inattention, jitteriness or impulsivity, and hyperactivity. Children must never be given drugs. They send for empathic learning therapy. If you are little affected, in 6 weeks you become all right. If you are quite affected, at least once a week for about 6 months, you need to come. But the good news, it is free of cost. Then we also have our visual tract at the back. The visual cortex is at the back of the brain. This visual tract also goes haywire and a disco happens in your brain when you see too much cartoon and too much digital games. You are on it. Your brain wires in a certain way, other parts of your brain suffers. You can get into internet addiction and whole night through. Your sleep gets disturbed. So please cut down on your digital screen. Never look at the digital screen at the end of the day in the night with lights switch off under the blanket without telling your parents. Parents, you have to remove the digital phone, smartphone out of the child's reach in the night. You have to take the steps for their own good. Children, you have to understand this is for your own good. So if I were to give you some quick things to do, 1, minimize or stop the digital screen in any form, television, iPad, smartphone, tablet, whatever form, any other digital gadget after 6 p.m. Before 6 p.m., just 25 minutes, not every day, not every day. If you watch more than 25 minutes, the brain firing goes on. Even after you stop the screen, your brain hasn't stopped. Don't look at the same cartoon. You become brand loyal. You should be brand loyal only to parents. Don't feed this addiction of watching with other gadgets, stickers, bottles, watches and so on. Those paraphernalia will begin to feed an addiction. You will get addicted in no time. And don't look into cartoons and digital games that are spooky or that has violence or sexual thrills. Please don't do this. You will increasingly get into thrill behavior. You'll be seeking thrills, and one day you will not know danger. That's the problem with thrill-seeking behavior. It is addictive. You need more thrill to satisfy you, more daring to satisfy you. So we have a den and dare. We are asking parents to hire this for your kids' parties. You can bring what you want. We have 3,600 square feet right in the center of Colombo. 374 Serpentine Road, Borella. You can have kids' parties. You can provide what else you like to have. We provide what we have. It has grips and ropes, high level, low level, mid level, designed by a professional. High level one of course needs harness and helmet, which we have. So you can teach children to occupy their time well. Grips and ropes begin to change their brain patterns, brain tracks. Harvard has done a controlled clinical study on how to treat jittery children with this empathic motor therapy. Dad and son, we are asking you, come on an evening. Dad, don't do your gymnasium alone. Come with your son. First time it's free. It's a wonderful place, and you will begin to bond with your children. That's the way to go, to make it kids safe, to make the screen safe for your child. Keep your child's learning intact. Protect your child's sleep. Sleep is very important. During sleep, after 6 p.m., brain begins to secrete melatonin, the sleep hormone, that begins to clean up your brain and give you a good sleep. Brain has a system called the glymphatic system that removes the chemical and other debris out of the brain during the night season. You have to have 3 cycles of REM sleep and NREM sleep. So there are books available, parents, Parenting in a Digital Dominant Age, Right Learning, Mom and Dad, How to Manage Mistakes in a Nice, Cool Way, and then Children Are Heritage, Let the Children Come to Me. These books are available in Sinhala and Tamil also. We have a digital magazine for Ayas and Akkas of A-Level. And this is a folder for those who are in the field, play school, Montessori teachers. We do a lot of technical teaching. Our DVD and materials are available. Our links are available. At the end of this talk, all those things are available. Everything on internet is completely free of cost. No charges for whatever you watch on the internet. You just go there and watch it. Links will come at the end of this program. We do school programs. We invite principals and heads of schools to send prefect teams, and any age group from 8 to 12 or A-level students, whatever number. We have a open air, a track course in Pamanagama Jayala, which is only 40 minutes from Colombo. It's a 5-acre campus with jungle trek. It's available for corporate training. It is also available for children to get into team action. In this selfie world, children must relate to each other. And in Colombo Borella, we have an indoor center, 3,600 square feet, with wonderful things that children will love. So thank you very much for listening.